is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast, we have absolutely nothing to talk about in 4K Spotlight or Through the Wall. Any news that we thought we had, like, nothing's really been affected that much. We were going to talk about like the writer's strike or something, but that's technically ended, but it hasn't ended any of the other strikes, and their deal is still kind of up in the air, so it just kind of be pointless to talk about.
And then
not pointless, I mean, bring awareness to it, but
yeah, but like nothing's like, it seems nothing's fully set in stone yet.
Yeah, wait, so we'll get into that when things are a little bit more solidified.
And then the only other thing that I brought to Caleb's attention, it's nothing set in stone either. It was just that already the Halloween franchise is being shopped around to other studios, and bidding wars are already being placed, but nothing's set in stone. So once that does happen, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So with that, I think we can get right into this episode.
Yeah, I'll say so.
All right.
Hey, it's Mikey T.
And Grant.
And Billy.
And we are the Failing
Hollywood
Podcast, and you are listening to the All Bros Podcast, the best movie podcast that is not us.
Yeah, second best. Second best.
Yeah, second best. They got
don't say best.
They got some decent reviews.
If you start lying to the audience right away, they're not going to buy anything you say.
I mean, but they have awesome mediocre views on movies.
Yeah, they're fine. They're fine.
So keep listening for more of that.
Dude, that one gets me every single time. They got all right reviews. Go check them out.
Dude, I want to ask him. I'm like, did you actually say like we're mediocre?
Yeah, seriously, it sounds like that.
Like, no hate, but it's just like you kind of like mumbled a little bit, so it's just like, did he say like, oh, they have okay media reviews, or it sounds like there's something after like,
because like
the media.
putting our reviews as not only okay but also mediocre in the same sentence. This is like, damn, double blow.
Yeah, it's fine. It keeps us humble.
Oh yeah, and we love you for it, Mikey.
Yep. All right. So since we don't have anything in 4K Spotlight or Through the Wall, I forgot what we said we were going to do this week. We are actually going to be breaking down Spider-Man 3. We kind of had a crazy week once again. October's going to be a weird month for us. So
it is.
Please have some mercy.
I guess buckle up for a fun ride of a month, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll be breaking down Spider-Man 3. We were originally supposed to be breaking down A Haunting in Venice. We pushed that one a couple weeks. So sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, if you guys were looking forward to that. But we got Spider-Man 3 for you, so
yeah. The best one of the trilogy, if you ask me.
Yeah. So
I'm lying.
I know.
Hey, you don't know.
I do know.
Yeah, you do.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so because we changed it around, we did ask a question of the week, because it was seriously up until today that we thought we were going to be breaking down A Haunting in Venice.
And it's my fault, and I am so sorry.
It's fine. It happens. Like last week was pretty much the same thing for me. But what we can do is we'll still read off our question of the week, our answer to the question of the week. We only got one, or we only got like a couple.
Okay.
And
let me
just double check.
Okay, thank God. Sorry, I thought like TikTok was just gonna like freaking blast me with the volume.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone that answered on what's it called, on YouTube. So I think we're good there.
And then I'm seeing
So yeah,
2
we
on
just
TikTok.
yeah, and we don't get any on Instagram. Rarely ever.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. So like I'll read one, you read one. So yeah. So we asked a question of the week for A Haunting in Venice. And we just asked, tell us what paranormal event turned you from skeptic to believer. Yeah, that's just kind of in ties with A Haunting in Venice, because that's based off of I wouldn't say it's based off of, it's this detective who's experiencing supernatural stuff, or stuff that he believes to be supernatural, and blah blah blah. So yeah. Anyway.
I don't know
So-
about you guys. I don't think I need to see the movie anymore. Caleb just, said it perfectly. Yeah. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So that's the question that we asked. So let's read off these responses. You want to take the first one?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got to take this first one just because if this ever happened to my cat, I'm literally taking Alexander and we're fleeing to Mexico. I just want you to know that right now. So coming from Flaccid Pancake, they said, I saw a shadow throw my cat off the table. Yeah, like I said, I'm grabbing Alexander, I'm burning my apartment down, and we're fleeing to Mexico. Yep, that's what's happening.
That seems reasonable.
But I can understand why that made you a believer. Because, yeah, F that.
Yeah, no thanks. Dude, I don't even know what I'd do if I saw a shadow throw something.
Now, see, with Caleb, if it was a cat, he'd be fine. He'd just be like, oh, that's normal. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude, I don't know. Like, if I saw and believed that it was a shadow that did it, I'd probably flip the hell out.
I just thought, since you really don't like cats, just be another day for you.
Dude, I'm so freaking hyper aware of scary shit. Like, it's not even funny. Like, if I even get like an inkling that something's like happening, I'm like a freaking like hawk.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
A good thing.
Yeah. So I'll tell. So I went to go see A Haunting in Venice today. So the day that we were recording, I was sitting, like, I was so cautious about where I sat. I sat in the second to last row. I checked the back row to make sure that no one was like hiding out. Like with my phone's flashlight, because I was the only one in the theater, which was fantastic. So yeah, I gave it a quick once over with my phone, and I'm like, all right, cool. I sat down in my seat, and like the movie started and whatnot, and so where I was sitting, I could see some of like the stairway lights, and one of those lights kept like turning off intermittently, and just for a minute, and then would turn back on, and it'd be fine like for a good like half hour before it shut off again. I was so hyper aware of that light. Like I even like anytime that light like flashed or turned off, I was like did a quick once over of the theater, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And then there was like this weird noise that I think was coming from the movie, but it was weird because the sound system in my theater wasn't all that good, but it sounded like it was coming from like above and behind me. And so I kept like looking back, and I'm like, okay, is there like some freaking employee sneaking through the projector window or something? Like something's going on, and it's freaking me out. But yeah, I'm so hyper cautious with shit like that. I'm like, I don't freaking play with scary shit.
Okay, yeah, you just tell me that story. Yeah, you definitely could not handle something like The Exorcist in theaters. Yeah, I didn't think you could handle Paranormal Activity.
Not in theaters, absolutely not.
Oh,
yeah. Well, the reason I don't think I could handle either of those is I don't do well with cheap jump scares, and those are just movies packed with them.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so I'm just no, I don't freaking play. So if I saw a shadow, and I genuinely believe that shadow threw something that was solid to the floor or whatever. Same boat. We're freaking deuces. Like I'm freaking leaving the gas on and throwing a match inside and just see ya.
Yep.
I don't know where we're going, but we're not staying here. Oh, but yeah. So I totally understand that one.
Yeah.
Like how that would flip you that hard. All right. And then mine is going to come from a talented failure, who said things moving and disappearing before my very eyes.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. Ugh.
Dude, has that ever happened to you?
Not me, but no. I'm grateful it hasn't, because I don't want to experience that.
Dude, so I actually have a story about something like this.
No shit. Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
So this may be why I'm very like hyper cautious of things in terms of like haunted. So you remember that old school that was like boarded up and whatnot on Main Street?
Dude, I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah.
Did they knock that down, or is it still there? Or is it?
No, it's still there. It got renovated. It looks a lot better. So it actually like it's functional now. But I swear I know exactly what story you're talking about.
It may be a different one. I do remember that there was one that like me and you were involved in.
Okay.
So
wait, no, the one that I'm thinking of, that involved Bronson seeing something. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't trust Bronson for shit.
Fair.
But yeah, okay. So there. Oh, actually, I have two. Like really good ones. All right, so check this out. So the first one I'm going to talk about is at this school. I used to take guitar lessons kind of behind where this school was. And I remember I was riding my bike over there one time. I think my mom was like, or no. Because I only ever rode my bike over there when I was like with you and like Sammy and everyone. So my mom was like discussing stuff with my guitar teacher. And so she just kind of was like, oh, just hang out here. And so we were right next door to that old school. So I was like, whatever, she's taking forever. I'm going to go check this shit out. And I went up to a window that was like busted open, right? And like I kind of got like it was on the ground. So I got down on my knees and was like looking inside the like this room. And there was a desk. Like one of those, like a school desk. So like one that had like the chair and the desktop attached to it and everything. And it was like the only one there, like in that room. It didn't feel like out of place. It wasn't like in the middle of the room. It was just kind of like off in the corner or whatever. And I remember like looking down and I like was like eyeballing the rest of the room and I kind of started to stand up and I heard a noise. And then I went back down and that damn desk was gone. And I was like, nope. And I jumped in the freaking car.
Nope, I'm done.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that. I was like, I was like sat there for like I went inside the freaking Guitar Center, grabbed my mom's keys, jumped in the car, and it was just like sitting there. And I'm like, okay, like running through it in my brain. I'm like, you saw the desk. Like, you saw the desk. Where did that desk go? Like trying to rationalize what the hell happened.
Dude, if I were you, I wouldn't have even gotten the keys from my mom and just went into the car by myself. I'd want to stay by as many people as I could.
Yeah, but I freaking like panicked hard.
Understandable.
Yeah, the second one was okay. So on the street that my parents live on, our elementary school was is on the same road, so we could walk to our elementary school.
Wait, which elementary did you go to again?
Forbes.
Okay.
For second and third grade at least. Gotcha. So I remember I was in third grade.
Okay.
And there was this old barn on our way back that was just kind of like covered in trees. It was like on its own little piece of land. So it was like, somewhat nice house, nice house, nice house, creepy old ass barn, nice house, nice house, nice house. And I remember hearing horror stories from like some of the other kids about what was up with that barn, and it's freaked me out. So I started walking across the street from the barn, like anytime I'd come up to it or whatever. So like I'd walk like super far away from this barn. I don't remember when it ever happened, but I remember like how this barn was like, there was a concrete foundation. It had a little bit of like an entryway that didn't come completely to the street. And it, it was just like a raggedy old like barn, right? I remember walking up to this barn and like looking inside. There was like chains and stuff hanging from the ceiling and stuff. Like nothing like too creepy other than the freaking chains. And I like the chains were enough for me to be like, I'm not liking where this is going. Yeah. So I was like, nope. Like I'm going to walk on the other side of the street. I don't remember when it ever happened. And usually that type of construction or that type of demolition takes a while. The barn got knocked down eventually. I can't seem to find a single person that knows when it was taken down.
Interesting.
It was just there one week and then it was gone the next. And when I say gone, I'm not talking like, oh, it looked like someone dug this up. It looked like it had been abandoned. Like there was no like upturned dirt. There wasn't any like big concrete blocks or giant like things that are typically left over from a demolition like that. It looked like it was just flat land, like almost like there had been nothing on it because the ground was like nice and solid. It wasn't like churned up or whatever. It was just there one weekend and then gone the next. And I remember asking my dad, I'm like, hey, who took down the barn? And he's like, the barn's gone? And I'm like, yeah, the barn's gone. And like he went and looked and he was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't see anyone working on it. And I'm like, I freaking knew some people like around the corners. And I'm like, hey, did you see who took this barn down? And they're like, no one knows like where the hell this barn went. It just freaking vanished.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And usually like underneath the concrete and stuff, like when you lay down a foundation, there's usually nothing because nothing's had the chance to grow. Right.
Yeah.
But where that barn stood, it was like weeds and shit.
Huh.
And I shit you not, it was like a Friday that I like walked past it. And then Monday when I was coming home, because I think my mom took me to school, like drove me that day. On my way walking home, that damn barn was gone and looked like it just like it looked like nothing had been there. And it like
so crazy.
It psyched me out, and I'm just like, aliens. Like this is some Men in Black level shit. The Men in Black came, took this like cannibalistic house or this cannibalistic barn out and just wiped everyone's memory of it. Except me.
Oh, dude. That is so interesting. Huh.
Yeah, freaking some crazy shit. So totally feel where he's coming from with the things moving and disappearing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't play with that shit no more.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you to you two, Flaccid Pancake and Talented Failure, for answering our question of the week. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
And we appreciate you giving us something to talk about. Do you have any like paranormal stories? I feel like if anyone does, it'd be you. Or have you just become numb to that shit?
I kind of become numb to that shit, honestly.
It's like you probably have a poltergeist, don't even know it.
With all the Gacy shit I got in my apartment, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, dude, yeah, okay. I guess No, I don't know if this like really counts because I think it was when I was recording episode 2 of the Gacy Gazette. I was talking like shit, like how, oh, he deserved to everything that he got, deserves to burn in hell and everything. And I swear I felt breathing on my neck. It felt like something was behind me, and I had to do a double take. Like I'm getting goosebumps telling it right now. So like, apparently Gacy didn't like the way I was talking about him from the other side.
You start breathing on your neck. It's just like.
No, why you gotta say that shit? Why you gotta do that shit? Oh man. But I mean that dude, yeah, that's all I can think of that's like happened to me in recently.
Fair enough. I mean, that's enough.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that freaks me. That shit freaks me the hell out.
Oh man. Sam said Stacy had her deceased grandma come sit on the edge of her bed one night. Dude, what?
Yeah, that would. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I just got goosebumps from that. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, how about no?
Oh.
I'd be like, Grandma, this isn't your bed. This isn't your plane of existence.
Yeah.
No more. Get out of here.
It's great to see you again, but now it's not the time.
Ooh. No thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. Whew, okay.
Just talking about it stirs emotions.
Oh,
I bet.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, that's whew.
Oof.
Yeah, that's some hard stuff to talk about. I understand.
Dude, what was that? What's that quote from?
I hope Stacey's okay.
Yeah. What's that quote from frickin' Game of Thrones? The night is long and full of terrors. Or something like that. Ooh, I would not handle that well.
Oh man.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Dude, I don't remember. Was it you or was it me that took a picture of one of those creepy dolls at the Graveface Museum?
No, I refuse. I don't. So I think it was me. Did I though? I thought I didn't because I didn't want to freaking like see it freaking move in my when I'm looking at the freaking picture.
Okay, I thought that was the case, but I wasn't 100% sure if I'd taken one too, because I was trying. Like, I remember. I don't know if I think I might have taken it from your phone.
Okay.
That's like why I'm remembering taking one, but I remember like going to pull it up for someone who's just like, oh, like, did you get any pictures of the creepy shit? And I was like, yeah, of course I did. And I was going through my phone and I saw that it was like not there. And I was just like, well, I know I didn't delete it. And so I was like psyching myself out. I was just like,
Dude, did you see what Graveface posted a couple days ago about how they're going, I forget how long, but they're literally going to let you stay overnight at the Graveface Museum, lights out, but you have to like sign a waiver because like they're not responsible for like any like paranormal entities you'll experience. Like, I think they're gonna even give you like night vision goggles. Like I don't know if I could do that, man.
Hell no.
Dude, even I'm like that. Like, I'm just like inside. I'm like, dude, that'd be so cool to like night vision, freaking go into the freaking serial killer's room, all that gay shit. But at the same time, like, I'm gonna freaking like see one of those paintings of Pogo freaking move, and I'm just gonna lose my shit. So yeah, no, I'm good. That sounds cool as hell. Like that, like kudos to you, Ryan. Like that's an awesome idea. But yeah, I'm good.
Dude, did you see he's hiring scare actors too?
What?
So it's
Do
not
I get to dress up as John Wayne Gacy?
No,
Sorry,
it's not just
kidding.
not just freaking like I saw that post. It's not just a freaking like overnight experience. Like there's gonna be freaking scare actors there. So
okay, that's pretty
like,
badass.
They're gonna like actively try and scare the shit out of you, and I would absolutely shart my pants.
Caleb, I would love to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I am way too jumpy for anything like that.
He is.
Dude, I get scared if people come up and like too suddenly when I'm at work.
Dude,
because
really?
like my
You're that jumpy?
yeah, like my back is to, so like I work on the laser machine, and so my back is to where people will come up and ask me for shit, and they'll come up like, and they won't even be that close. They'll just like be like, "Hey, Caleb," and I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Oh my god, dude! Damn.
I'm super freaking jumpy, dude. Like I do not play with horror shit. Not if I can avoid it.
Okay, you know what? Understandable. Please, god damn, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, thank you to those of you that answered our question of the week, and to Sam for probably making me not sleep well.
Yeah, same here. But I hope that you and Stacy are okay.
Yeah. Oh, so with that, let's say we get into this week's breakdown.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So like we said earlier, we will be breaking down Spider-Man 3, one of our more last minute episodes. This is probably like the most last minute that we've ever had, because it's like, because you messaged me at like what, 5?
No, I don't think I messaged you that late.
Didn't?
Yeah, I messaged you at like noon.
Did you really?
Or noon my time.
Oh, oh no, you messaged me at 6.
I did?
Yeah, so that was about 4 o'clock your time. At
What?
least that's what time I got it. It says 6:11. That's when you asked, could you chance or record tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about like switching the movie. Oh, my bad.
Oh, switching the movie? Yeah, switching the movie was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, you messaged
Yeah, you're right.
at like 1.
Okay. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, freaking. Yeah, that probably is. That is. Ugh. Yeah, this definitely is our most last minute episode.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. So, if you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a final All Bros letter grade that we compare to movies of a similar grade. It also gives a ranking, so it's kind of fun to see where it ends up in the ranking. But yeah, so it doesn't really matter all that much, despite what we may say on TikTok.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so with that, if you have not seen Spider-Man 3, you are way late to the freaking game.
You've had like 16 years. I think that's exactly 16 years that you've had.
Yeah, just about. When did this come out? It came out 2007. Holy shit. Yeah, it came out a long while ago. So you guys have no excuse for not seeing this. Telling Time with Rose.
Okay, let's start that. Why not? Telling Time with Rose. I like it. Let's do it.
Dude, that one's good and you know it.
Yeah. All right, Sam, that's a good one.
Oh man. But yeah, so you have been properly warned. So yeah, if you listen beyond this point and anything from this movie is spoiled for you, sucks to be you.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, we've given you our appropriate warning. So with that, Rose is about to spoil the entire movie for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose. I have to do things like backwards. It's weird.
All right. Peter Parker plans to propose to Mary Jane Watson, who has made her Broadway musical debut. In Central Park, a meteorite lands near the two, and an extraterrestrial symbiote follows Peter to his apartment by attaching to his motorbike. Harry Osborn, knowing Peter is Spider-Man, seeks to avenge his father Norman's death. Using Norman's performance-enhancing gas and Green Goblin technology, he battles Peter to an eventual stalemate, developing partial amnesia. Meanwhile, police pursue escaped convict Flint Marko, who visits his wife and sick daughter before fleeing. Falling into an experimental particle accelerator that fuses his body with the surrounding sand, he gains the ability to control and reform his body with sand, becoming Sandman. During a festival honoring Spider-Man for saving Gwen Stacy's life, Peter kisses her to please the crowd, angering Mary Jane. Marko then robs an armored truck and escapes after defeating Spider-Man. NYPD Captain George Stacy, Gwen's father, informs Peter and his Aunt May that Marko is Uncle Ben's true killer. The deceased Dennis Carradine was Marko's accomplice. At the apartment, the symbiote assimilates. That's the word. Jeez Louise.
I was like, I don't know what the hell you're trying to say right now.
The Spider-Man suit as Peter sleeps in it while waiting for Marko to come out of hiding. Peter awakens on top of a building, discovering that the symbiote has colored his suit black and enhanced his powers. However, it also brings out aggressive traits of his personality. Peter locates and battles Marko in a subway tunnel. Discovering that water is his weakness, he opens a pipe, releasing water that reduces Marko to mud and washes him away in a sewer. Peter's changed demeanor alienates Mary Jane, who also receives negative reviews from critics. She shares a tender moment with Harry, but leaves in regret. Urged by a hallucination of his father, Harry recovers from his amnesia and forces Mary Jane to break up with Peter. Harry later meets up with Peter and tells him that Mary Jane loves him. Under the symbiote's influence, Peter confronts Harry and spitefully says his father never loved him. As Peter leaves after an ensuing fight, Harry throws a pumpkin bomb at him, but the former deflects it back, scorching the latter's face. At the Daily Bugle, Peter exposes rival photographer Eddie Brock, whose fake photos incriminate Spider-Man. Publisher J. Jonah Jameson fires Brock and promotes Peter to staff photographer. Later, Peter brings Gwen to a jazz club where Mary Jane now works. In an attempt to make her jealous, Peter interrupts Mary Jane's performance and dances with Gwen in front of her. Upon realizing Peter's true intentions, Gwen apologizes to Mary Jane and leaves. After assaulting the bouncers and accidentally hitting Mary Jane, Peter realizes that the symbiote is corrupting him. Retreating to a church's bell tower and discovering that the sounds of clanging metal weaken the creature, Peter removes the symbiote. Brock is at the same church and becomes the symbiote's new host. As Venom, Brock locates a still-living Marko and convinces him to join forces to kill Spider-Man. Brock abducts Mary Jane and holds her captive from a web at a construction site, intending to kill her in revenge for Peter ruining him, while Marko keeps the police at bay. After Harry declines to help Peter, Harry's butler reveals that Norman's death was not Spider-Man's fault. While Brock and Marko pin Peter down, Harry arrives to help Peter and save Mary Jane. Brock attempts to impale Peter with Harry's glider, but Harry jumps in and is impaled instead. While remembering the symbiote's weakness, Peter assembles a perimeter of metal pipes to create a sonic attack, weakening it and allowing Peter to separate Brock from the symbiote. Peter activates a pumpkin bomb and throws it at the hostless symbiote. Having become addicted to its influence, Brock attempts to save the symbiote, and both are vaporized. Marko explains that Ben's death was an accident that has haunted him and that everything he has done was to help his daughter. Peter forgives Marko, allowing him to escape. Peter and Harry reconcile before the latter dies from his injuries. Sometime after Harry's funeral, Peter visits Mary Jane at the jazz club where they embrace and share a dance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I don't know about you, but I feel if it weren't for the meddling of Sony and wanting certain things put into this movie, this could have been a way better third movie.
Bro, no freaking,
like the only symbiote so from what I've seen is Sam Raimi never wanted Venom in this movie. He wanted the two villains to be Harry's Green Goblin and Sandman. That's it. But So since he didn't want Venom, I can't remember. Is that including the symbiote for Spider-Man, or was he wanting to include that?
No, so you can't really have Venom without the symbiote.
Fair.
So he didn't. Venom at the time was a newer character, but he was wildly popular with fans. And so that's why Sony was pushing real hard, because I think they wanted to get some of that Venom money out. Like for Venom merchandise and shit. So they wanted a reason to sell some more of his shit. So yeah, they pressured Sam Raimi like really freaking hard to put Venom in this. So I don't think Sam Raimi wanted. I think he was fine introducing Venom at the end, because there was talks of a Spider-Man 4. I think they had like a line or a plan in place to release a Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, he already had his lineup of villains ready. His main one, he wanted it to be the Vulture.
Yeah, which would have been freaking sick.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
But yeah, so yeah, he was kind of forced to throw Venom in, and so he didn't know how to handle Venom. What is the issue? He's like, I knew how to handle Green Goblin. I knew how to handle Doc Ock. I knew how to handle Sandman. I did not know anything about Venom other than what he was told, and what he was told was that Venom's kind of a goofy character. That's what it turned Peter into a goofy character.
Yeah, I think that's what I've always appreciated with Sam Raimi as a director when it came to his Spider-Man movies. He picked like the most well-known, but they've had so much character development throughout the years that there's so much material that you can look back on to fully understand these villains. And so like there's so many directions that you can take them in. And so I feel with Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, he freaking nailed it so perfectly, because not only for what he wanted to add to them, but also just the constant decades of material that he had thanks to the comic books that they were in. But yeah, like you said, Venom was a brand new character. Definitely a goofy character. And like, honestly, a hot take. He has never been one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and I've never understood the huge hype for him. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate the character.
Honestly,
but definitely...
I think it's just because he's a cool looking character. I think that's the hype.
Yeah, I mean, and hell, in Venom and Venom 2, yeah, I will fully admit he looked badass. He looked awesome, but just I've never gotten the character development from Venom that I get from Norman Osborn, from Otto Octavius, even Flint Marko, especially in this movie.
Have you seen the thing talking about like the canon events? It was like shortly after Across the Spider-Verse came out. There was a lot of different writers and stuff talking about like canon events, right?
Okay.
And like one of the big ones is there needs to be an Uncle Ben figure. So according to some Venom writers, they were saying that Peter Parker is Venom's Uncle Ben.
What the shit?
Yeah, like that's his equivalent. It's the first person that he bonded to on this new world, created like a bond with, and then ultimately got rejected. By his first host. And so that's why he holds such a disdain for Spider-Man, is because Venom, or Peter Parker, was Venom's first love, more or less. And then that person like rejected him, like who he was, and like even went as far as like actively attacking him with like the sound waves and everything.
Yeah. That is so interesting.
Yeah, like a super interesting take, right?
Way. Yeah. Huh. I kind of dig that. I like that.
Yeah, so that's Venom's obsession with Spider-Man.
Okay, I could totally buy that. Okay.
Yeah, I totally do too. But yeah, Venom, he just wasn't established well.
He was not, like, honestly, I don't blame, I mean, we'll get to acting with this, but I don't blame Topher Grace at all. I feel he did the best that he could with what he was given for the character of not only Eddie Brock, but Venom as well.
Yeah. I will say, if they were to have handled Venom in more of the way that they have dealt with him in the recent one with Tom Hardy, where there's like a dialogue between, like, you can hear that inner dialogue between the host and Venom, I think you could have done some really good things with that and made him a little bit better well received.
I agree, because when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, that's honestly, that's like some of my favorite parts of the previous 2 Venom films. Just when they're when Eddie and Venom are just like going at each other, like, freaking love that shit.
Yeah. So, like, I think that they could have touched upon that, but again, what you're dealing with is someone who was grew up being a fan of Spider-Man, and then having to basically shoehorn this new character that he knew nothing about into his film.
Yeah.
A film that he already had kind of a set plan for.
Yeah.
I would love to see or hear what Sam Raimi's original plan for Spider-Man 3 was.
Same, dude. Same.
Like, I don't need it to be thrown into production or anything. I just want to I want him to release like a book. Like, this is like what Spider-Man 3 should have been.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I'd buy that shit day one.
Dude, no joke. Like, I'd have that shit on pre-order.
Yeah, dude, same. Yeah. Damn. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, freaking audiobook it with the cast members, dude. That'd be sick.
Bro, that'd be amazing. But I mean, looking past Venom, and just how that just should have never been added to this 3rd movie. There are some other parts that you're just like, what the hell were they thinking? Definitely gotta, bring up Bully McGuire, the freaking the dancing scenes, those get cringier on every watch. I don't know about you.
Yeah, they don't age well.
No, they do not.
But I think they've become such a freaking staple in Spider-Man lore that it's kind of like, it's become funny. Like, it's turned from cringy to funny.
Yeah. But I mean, there is still a lot to love with this story. Looking past like some of the problems that you might have with the symbiote when it comes to Peter Parker, you still get some great moments with not only Peter Parker but Spider-Man. Seeing him deal with, of course, his relationship with Mary Jane, and how it's just been honestly, once the symbiote enters him, it's just up and down for him with that. What he goes through with Harry, especially, that's always been one of my favorite parts of this 3rd movie. Freaking how you see how much hatred Harry has towards Peter for killing his father, and the whole accident with his amnesia, and then just everything else that happens, but then finally they actually reconcile at the end, and there's an ounce of peace with them as Harry passes away, which I'm very grateful for. I'm really glad that Harry didn't freaking die hating Peter, because that would have freaking sucked. I would have hated that.
That was a great call, dude. Like, to not end it that way. To end it
I can't imagine
like
that.
a reconciliation between the two. Like, oh man.
But when I was reading that, oh my god, what's the butler's name again? Let's see. Damn, where is it? Brock. Sorry.
Houseman?
Oh, he just says Houseman?
Yeah, that's he's played by John Patton.
Oh.
And he's just credited as Houseman.
Oh. Whenever I think of, even when I'm watching the movie, when that scene comes up, the only thing that I can think of is, have you seen the How It Should Have Ended for Spider-Man 3? Please tell me you have.
It's been forever since I've seen it, but
But-
yeah.
The part where he's explaining to Harry, he's just like, the night your father died, he was impaled by his own glider. It was his own fault. And Harry's just like, you were so fired. What? But I thought you wanted to know the truth. He's like, I took a grenade to the face, dude. That's like the only thing that I can think of when I see that scene.
Dude, I will say I have real mixed feelings about the Harry becoming the new Goblin.
That's fair. Like I'll fully admit when it came to like Harry becoming the new Green Goblin, I feel it was handled better in like the 2000 series. Or was it No, I think it was the 90s series. Was it the 90s? Shit, when did that series come out? Like, do you know
animated
the one?
one?
Yeah.
Which one? I mean, there's been.
I swear it's 90s Spider-Man. Let me check.
You're talking about the like the Spider-Man we grew up on?
Yes. Yeah.
That was 90s Spider-Man.
Okay, so 90s Spider-Man. Like I freaking remember the way that they tackled Harry becoming Harry. Wow, I remember how they tackled Harry becoming the Green Goblin after Norman died. And just freaking how terrifying he becomes. And just I don't know, when someone becomes the new Goblin, I expect them to be freaking terrifying. Like, say what you will about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but at least Harry, like, he was actually like felt like the Green Goblin. He was actually intimidating. Like, you could tell that the what entered his body like effed him up. And you felt that way with Norman Osborn in the first Spider-Man movie. So the fact that even though we see that James Franco's Harry Osborn is injected with the Goblin serum, right? Yeah, we see that, right?
No, that's the part that I have an issue with.
Yeah, but I thought like
at the end of Spider-Man 2, he takes that knife and throws it through the window or that mirror. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was like an end credit scene or part of the movie, but he throws it through, and the machine that Norman used to become the Green Goblin is in there, along with the serum. You never see Harry take the serum, I don't think. I think you see it. Well, hold up. Yes, you do.
Because
you see him come out of the chamber.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you don't see him inject himself with anything, but you see him like coming out of the same chamber.
Okay.
And I think that like that's as far as that goes.
But yet that doesn't affect his like personality at all, really.
His psyche at all.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He never feels like the Green Goblin.
Yeah. That's what's kind of got me, because I remember reading something. I think it might have been like the book adaptation of this movie, and them saying that he altered the formula to not have the kind of impact that it would have on his mind. So it would give him all the perks of being the Goblin without any of the mental effects. But that, I think that's what's got me confused. It's because like it doesn't seem like Harry has any of like the mental issues that Norman did.
Yeah.
So he would have had to alter it.
If that's the case, you're taking all the fun out of the Green Goblin.
Yes. But that's not the issue that I have. The issue I have is you set Harry up as kind of the dummy in the first movie. He's not as smart as Peter. He's not as smart as his dad. So you're just telling me that he was able to take this formula that drove his dad to insanity and altered it to get rid of that side effect?
Yeah, dude, seriously. Even in the second one, he's made out to be even more of a dummy, I feel.
Yeah, because you're dealing with that too, and then like you've already showed that he has mental issues. He communicated with his dad.
Yeah.
So it's like,
what the hell?
I know you set this up in a way that he'd have the same issues as Norman.
Yeah.
but you didn't like. There was no follow up.
Like, and I'm sure James Franco could have played Psycho just as well. I mean, probably not as well as Willem Dafoe, but at
I
least
think he could have done really well.
Yeah, I swear that we've seen him do that before. So why change it?
Yeah.
Why change what the Green Goblin serum does to somebody, or the Goblin serum?
Like I said, dude, I would love to see what this movie originally was.
Dude, same. Yeah, because I feel if Sam Raimi would have truly been able to get his vision, we could have had one of the best superhero trilogies ever made. This could have been on the levels of Guardians.
I absolutely believe that.
Because the first and second are near perfection.
They
second
are.
one especially.
Dude, like, absolutely. The second one's just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get better than that.
No,
like,
you cannot.
That sets the bar so high. I think you still would have had issues with the third,
True.
Regardless of how good it was, just because of how good number 2 was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, I want to Google something real quick. Spider-Man 3. All right, dude, what kind of bullshit is freaking Screen Rant?
Why? What happened?
So I Googled, like, what was the original plan for Spider-Man 3, and it says, think Spider-Man 3 was bad? The original plan would have been so much worse. Let's see. Spider-Man 3. So this is what this says. Spider-Man 3 was almost split into 2 movies. That would have been fine.
Yeah.
Originally, Spider-Man 3 was going to explore Peter learning that he wasn't a sinless vigilante, and even though he considered villains could have humanity in them, and in order to give closure to Harry Osborn's story, he was brought back with the intention of being somewhere between his father's legacy and being his own person. Sandman was later added as an antagonist, and after pressure from producer Avi Arad, Raimi added Eddie Brock and Venom as well. Blah, 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 blah. Splitting Spider-Man 3 into 2 parts could have made each one less. Venom's addition and felt forced. Dude, I freaking hate Screen Rant. The original pitch for Spider-Man 3 skewed Venom or the symbiote's black suit, with Vulture instead as the main protagonist, while Sandman would be the secondary villain, as in the final cut. So originally, I guess it was Vulture that was meant to be the main villain.
I'm all for that.
In the opening of the film, Spider-Man would respond to a police report of a robbery by a new villain, the Vulture, and would have foiled him and thrown him in jail, leaving Toomes to develop an intense hatred towards him, sharing a cell with Flint Marko, who would also gain superpowers involving sand physiology and morphing. Toomes would talk Marko into joining him in a quest for vengeance against the wall crawler, and would enact a prison break, corralling other escaped convicts to start riots and mass looting to draw Spider-Man out and wear him out, trying to stop and quell them. In 2005, Vulture was removed from the script, replaced with Harry Osborn, the New Goblin, and Venom, keeping Sandman's role. Producers felt Raimi's take on Vulture did not make for an overly compelling villain. Fair. At least from what we've heard here.
Yeah.
But given as he had no personal ties to Spidey beyond petty vengeance, as opposed to Green Goblin and Doc Ock before him, and that Venom's popularity and status as a dark reflection of Spidey, in addition to the Black Suit story, being a beloved character arc from the comics and cartoons prior, would make for a better story, blah, 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 blah. Oh, in addition to upping merchandise and toy sales. Freaking called it.
Of course.
Raimi was reluctant, having a personal dislike of Venom due to what he perceived as a lack of humanity, but ultimately acquiesced to Arad and Sony's demands and tried to do justice to the character, basing him on his earliest appearance.
Yeah, Sony he tried his best.
Yeah, so Sony rushed Sam Raimi with the deadline of Spider-Man 3 because they did not want to lose the film rights to Spider-Man to Marvel.
Damn.
Man, dude, I really wish that we would have gotten to see, at least know what Sam Raimi's original vision for Spider-Man 3 was.
Same here.
Because I'll give him this. From what was described, the Vulture does not sound like a compelling villain.
Fair.
Not in the way that Harry Osborn is.
Yeah.
Especially like with what you've built him up to. So I think we missed out, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I mean, but just like diving into this, like what we did get, or talking about what we did get. I don't hate this as much as critics do.
Same here. Like this is not the worst third movie this is not only not the worst third movie in a trilogy, this is not one of the worst superhero movies ever made. It's not an abomination like so many people think it is.
No, it's absolutely not. I think they did as well as they could with a film like this.
Agreed.
Obviously, like there was freaking issues with production and everything, wanting to shoehorn a new villain in that the director wasn't familiar with. But despite what we got something that was really fun to watch, and a villain that was like super I'll say relatable in like terms of Sandman.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
And I think everyone's like, if anything was done correctly, it was proper motivations.
Yes.
I love that they started off the movie like almost instantly with action, and like with the Peter Parker New Goblin fight. I thought that was an incredible beginning.
Dude, seriously, that is honestly probably still one of my favorite superhero fights I've ever seen.
It was so good. And then like just like the brutality of like how they're just freaking like laying into each other.
Yeah,
like,
dude, they were not holding their punches whatsoever.
Yeah, and so when Harry gets like knocked the hell out, like I was just I remember the freaking reaction I had to that.
Dude, same.
Like I remember being like, dude, I remember my whole reaction like the first time I watched this fight. It's because I went to go see this movie for the first time for a friend's birthday.
Really? Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
And so it was opening weekend too. So
yeah,
so we went to go see this movie, and I remember like the fight, and I'm just like, yeah, like being super into it. And then as soon as Harry got knocked out and was like on the floor, I was like, like, oh no, like, oh shit, that's your best friend, bro. And just like, I remember how like instant that like switch was, and just like, and I freaking like loved it. But yeah, I mean that was cool. Just I think the amnesia thing was at least at the beginning was a little bit much for me, but once he like got his memory back and everything, that's when it became like super interesting.
I can definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, so I loved how you could tell when he got his when he lost his memory versus when he got it back, because like I think they did something with his hair.
Yeah,
like
right.
You notice how like before he got his memories back, like all his features were like really light, like his hair was like a lighter red and everything, and then when he like had his memories back, all his features went back to being like really dark.
Yeah, they did,
and I love that little touch.
No, yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, honestly, I think it was a little overcrowded, at least near the end.
It was,
but
yeah.
I think he made it work as best as he could.
He really did.
Like the motivations were there. Like Sandman was fighting Spider-Man because Spider-Man was keeping him from taking care of his kid. Venom and Eddie Brock were fighting Spidey because Peter Parker screwed them over. Like, albeit it was Peter Parker all symbioted up, but still.
Yeah.
And then like just the ultimate fight, or how it came down to the fight between Peter and Harry, and Harry gets like all effed up. So like that fight was freaking dope too.
Yeah,
Like,
that was super dope.
yeah, like I remember when he like I loved when they were just like kicking each other's ass, and freaking Harry's like all blood, like like blood's coming out of his mouth, and he's just like, I protected your ass, and like I protected you all throughout high school, now I'm going to kick your little ass. And then freaking Peter's, ooh.
So good.
Yeah, I freaking loved shit like that, dude. Overall, like it had a good flow about it. Like,
Dude.
my only real complaint is that it got bogged down by Bully Maguire, and it kind of got a little bit overcrowded with villains.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't have very many complaints about the story.
I don't either, honestly.
I'd say I'm pretty freaking high in terms of these Spider-Man movies. I'd say I'm like 87.
I think I don't know, I can't decide if I want to just go. Yeah, you know what, man? I gotta agree. F it. 87.
All right, moving on over to writing. Dude, this is where all of Sam Raimi's movies freaking fall for me.
Yeah.
His writing sucks.
I mean, but I mean,
the overarching story, like the overarching stories are pretty sick. And like when the dialogue, he's not good at filler dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say besides that. But no, dude, you're absolutely right. Like the interaction I feel that Peter and Mary Jane have when they're on the bridge and she's breaking up with him. Like, yeah, just like some of the freaking dialogue of that is just like so cringe.
Yeah, Sam Raimi can't do freaking not serious dialogue.
Yeah.
And it was the same issue in the other two movies. The villains dialogue, sick.
Yeah.
Everything else, kind of trash.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about Eddie's line with the, oh, my spider sense is tingling, if you know what I'm talking about?
Honestly, I had less issues with that than a lot of other shit.
Okay. All right.
I think overall, if anyone was written the best, it was freaking Eddie Brock Jr.
Fair. All right. I can definitely get behind that.
Like, my favorite part is when he gets his camera smashed when Peter's in the black suit, and he just like walks up to the manhole cover and he's like, "What the hell?"
But who can forget Peter's classic line, "See ya, chump."
Dude, I can't watch that scene anymore without seeing that meme where he like jumps and farts.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
See ya, chump.
Why does the internet have to ruin everything?
I know. Like, I freaking laugh forever at that scene. I'm like, I shouldn't have, but I did.
Oh, shit.
I will say the best dialogue is when I think Sandman had the best dialogue overall. There was nothing Sandman said that like bothered me or made me feel like, oh, that's cringy. Like, everything was like really good.
No, seriously, especially like towards the end, or not towards the end, at the end, when him and Peter are having that talk and he's just explaining everything of why he did it, and you know how he plays back Uncle Ben's death every day and just how he wish he could have changed things. The dialogue is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's super good. New Goblins wasn't all that good.
It's all right.
Yeah. Mary Jane, I I can't with Mary Jane, dude.
So I'm curious, is it Mary Jane throughout all 3 movies, or is it just this one?
All 3 movies.
Dude, I feel I'm one of the rare people that loves Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane.
I liked her for the first one, and that was it.
Really, I love her in all 3.
Dude, she got so whiny. I'm just like,
she did, but I don't know. It worked for the way that she did the character, and I don't know. I really liked her in adaptation of Mary Jane Watson throughout all 3 films.
I can't say I did. So after the first one, I was like, okay, like there's room to improve. The second one, I'm like, no, like there's no freaking redeeming her. And then the third one just kind of like confirmed that. I was like, yeah, I freaking can't with you.
Third one, Caleb's just like, stop, she's already dead.
Yeah, pretty much. I did not like Mary Jane as a character in this franchise. She was so whiny, and then she just kept bitching and complaining about like stupid shit with Peter. Like it was so aggravating. Like I think what bothered me the most, because I feel like there were like I went in with some like level of okay, there's some redemption that can be had here. But it was when Gwen Stacy came up and was like talking to Peter and then like went off on her way, and then Mary Jane just started getting all freaking butt hurt. Like, who the hell was that? I'm like, dude, don't. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, I even remember as a kid, I'm like, this seems like a bit much.
Oh, shit.
Like, your boyfriend who you're supposed to trust is like telling you like she's nothing to me. Like, she's just like the way he was reacting, like totally within like realistic when she's like losing her mind and he's just like, she's just a girl in my class, what do you want me to say?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, damn. what else can he say?
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, it's just that, and I feel like, was Peter being an asshole sometimes? Like, I wouldn't say he was being an asshole, but I think he was trying his best to be like a supportive partner.
Yeah.
He was trying to relate his the critiques that she was getting to his as Spider-Man. Like, because it's like he doesn't know what else to say. Like, what's he supposed to do? Like, oh, maybe you'll try better next time. Like, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have gone over. Honestly, that probably could have gone over better with her for how much she freaking bitched and complained about. I thought he handled that situation like damn near perfectly. But
okay, you got a point.
Yeah, I not a freaking fan of her writing whatsoever.
I will say though, I feel like one line that always sticks with me is the when freaking Peter just, his landlord's just like, oh, where's my rent? And the classic, you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door. That line just like boosts up the writing score for me.
Yeah. That was the landlord is pretty sick. I like the landlord a lot. He's a character that grew on me over time.
Oh yeah, same here.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can give writing that high.
I can agree with you there. The question is, how low are you?
I'm probably sitting at I think Sandman was good enough to bump this up to like a slightly above average. So I'm sitting at like 75.
Damn you, man. That's what I was thinking too. But I don't want to freaking just have a line of scores that are matching, but apparently that's what we're getting at so far.
Yeah.
All
right, next up we got acting. So for our cast, we have Tobey Maguire, who played Peter Parker / Spider-Man. We have Kirsten Dunst, who played Mary Jane Watson. James Franco, who played Harry Osborn / the New Goblin. Thomas Hayden Church, who played Flint Marko, otherwise known as the Sandman. Topher Grace, who played Eddie Brock Jr., or Venom. Bryce Dallas Howard, who played Gwen Stacy. And J.K. Simmons, who played J. Jonah Jameson.
The only person to play the same character in all iterations of Spider-Man, except for the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Because he wasn't.
Yeah, but you don't really see J. Jonah Jameson.
I don't think you ever see him.
Yeah,
I think he's just mentioned by name.
I think he could still play.
That's true. So we'll just say that, yeah, in all 3 iterations of live-action Spider-Man, he is J. Jonah Jameson, rightfully deserved. Because God, is he amazing as this character.
Friggin' love him. All right, what's your top 3 look like?
Number 3. I'm going to give to James Franco. Where is he? There he is. I didn't love, I still really enjoy his performance as Harry Osborn, especially, after he wakes up from the coma, and just like the way that he tries to, I don't know, it's just the smooth talking that he does, and just the way he is. And especially at the ending when him and Peter reconcile, it's great character moments for both. Honestly, this might be the movie that I enjoy his performance the most out of the 3, and that's why I would put him in my top 3. I feel that his performance just got better as the movies went along. So that's my number 3. Number 2, I would give it to Thomas Hayden Church, Flint Marko, Sandman. Phenomenal villain. He was absolutely fantastic. I would still put Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina. Is it Molina or Molina?
Molina.
It's Molina? Damn, sorry, I always screw that up.
No, I do too.
Okay. So I would definitely put, those will always be my top 2 favorite adaptations of Spider-Man villains. Always. But freaking Thomas Hayden Church is still freaking up there when it comes to iterations of Spider-Man villains, because he is absolutely amazing as Sandman. The emotion that he gives to his character, just everything that he brings is just absolutely fantastic. And I, once again, just loved watching him on screen. But number 1, I have to give to Tobey Maguire. For the problems that I have with Bully Maguire and everything, I can absolutely look past, because I still love him so much as Spider-Man / Peter Parker, and he showcased that again in this 3rd one. All of the turmoil that he goes through as Spider-Man and as Peter Parker, and the emotion that he puts in through the performance, is fantastic. Like I said, there is some problems that I have, and I feel it's more on character writing. It's not really acting. It's, the Bully Maguire, just some things that feel completely out of character for Peter Parker, but because of the whole symbiote storyline, you can kind of excuse it. So yeah, definitely got to give number 1 to Tobey Maguire. There's a reason why he's many people's favorite Spider-Man. He's the OG.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my only issue with Tobey's Spider-Man is that I don't feel he's quippy enough.
That's fair. I feel when it comes to quippy, Andrew Garfield freaking steals the show. Especially in...
I don't even think Andrew Garfield's as quippy as I'd like him to be. He's definitely the quippiest.
That's fair. I mean, I feel in the first one, they took him way too serious. At least in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he definitely had some moments to finally be quippy Spider-Man. But I definitely agree with you. He wasn't as quippy as he could have been. Definitely agree with you.
I will say, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's a lot more chatty. It's just not quippy.
Okay, that's fair.
And I think I like that about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man the most.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, I think he needs to get a little quippier. It needs to be nonstop talking.
And I'm hoping
that's like a strategy that people in the comics that people have pointed out, like, I think he's even brought, like, Spider-Man himself has even brought it up, that he talks to get his enemies, like, scatterbrained.
Yeah.
Like,
Smart.
that's why he doesn't shut up, is because it distracts them and makes them easier to fight.
Smart. It's really smart.
Yeah. Like, so I think that's something that I think they need to adapt a little bit better. I don't think any Spider-Man has been as quippy as they should, other than, like, not including animated ones, because I feel like there's been some animated ones that are very quippy.
That's fair. I can definitely agree with you there.
But yeah, I absolutely agree with you on number one, Tobey Maguire's the freaking bomb.com. My number two, I think I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to give it to Thomas Hayden Church, and like same reasons as you. This is my number three is honestly a coin flip and probably going to be real controversial. I'm giving it to Topher Grace.
Dude, you will get no argument from me here, because like I did not love the iteration of Venom. Maybe it's just because I don't really understand the character that much, but what Topher Grace was able to do with the character, and just you could tell that he kind of just had fun with it. He made it his own, and I appreciate the hell out of him for that, because he did his absolute best. He really did.
Dude, Topher Grace doesn't get enough credit as an actor.
He doesn't, and it's bullshit. It pisses me off.
Yeah. I love, like, honestly, I think in another life, he would have made a really good Spider-Man.
Yes. Oh, dude, yeah. He would have made a fantastic Peter Parker.
Yeah. I would have liked to see him in a role like that. Because I think just seeing, like, a lot of his other stuff, like, obviously he was, he grew up doing That 70s Show. And he's just done a lot of other sitcoms and comedies. Like, he's got the comedic timing down.
Yes, he does.
And he's got that, like, that awkwardness about him that I feel fits perfectly for a character like Spider-Man.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think in another life, like in a freaking somewhere in the multiverse, Topher Grace played Spider-Man, and I freaking love it.
I am all for that. That makes me smile, honestly.
Yeah. So, but I loved, like, his just quick-witted, quick talking, and everything that he was able to portray about Eddie Brock Jr. Like, I thought it was really good. Once he got into Venom mode, I was like, not loving it, but
yeah. But
it's
him as
okay.
Eddie Brock was great.
Yeah. I will say this, his Venom voice, even though we only hear like a quick little snippet of it, kind of killer.
Yeah, it wasn't half bad, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you only get like one word from him in like Venom mode, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because most of the time it's like it's separated, and then like all you see is his face, and like the way that he's talking.
I want to know who decided that, because no, it should have just been Venom talking, not him freaking pulling back and be, oh hey, here's Eddie. It's like, no, if he's Venom, he's fully Venom.
Yeah, but I remember like flipping out when he's talking, like when he's on the wall, like crawling towards Sandman, and like how menacing that was. That he's like, you want to kill the spider, I want to kill the spider, like let's team up, make it happen. And then he like kind of gets down and like is in Sandman's face, and he's like, then he like goes full mask, he's like, interested, and I'm just like, like I got chills. I was like, oh shit. Like, it's about to go down. But yeah, freaking loved his performances as Eddie Brock. Venom was hit and miss.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, that's my top three.
Excellent choices.
Yeah. So where are you sitting with your acting score?
Acting, this is definitely one of the highest, I feel, for me with this movie, because I feel that there's not really, like, I feel for what they were given to work with, everyone brings their A game here. I know you're not the biggest fan of Mary Jane and Kirsten Dunst, but I still enjoy her character of how she's written here and how Kirsten Dunst portrays her. Completely understand why you're not a fan, and like I say, completely get it. Say acting wise, like honestly, I think I'm gonna go an 87.
This I'm a little bit more on the lower end of 80s.
Okay.
I will say Thomas Hayden Church definitely brought it up. Toby did his best. I'd say he's pretty on par with how he was in the other two. But I think I'm heading like the opposite direction. So where you're going like 2 points over 85, I'm probably going to go 2 points lower. So I'm going to sit at an 83.
Fair enough.
All right, next up we got character development, which obviously we can do this on Peter Parker.
Considering, looking how far he's come from the first two and into this third movie, and definitely bringing in the effects that the symbiote has on him. There are some parts in this movie that I'm just like, I don't love where you're taking the character. And it all comes back to Bully Maguire. That's the effects that the symbiote has on his character. I kind of hate. Like there's some parts that are like really cool with him, like when he really gets into his big anger moments, and he's like literally ready to freaking just like literally kill some people with that scene at the Bugle with Eddie, when he first encounters Sandman. Yeah, that shit was insane. But yeah, no, honestly, look, like I'm trying to base it off all three of these movies, but I don't know if I shouldn't do that, because it should just be what we get from him in this movie. And it's just like, unfortunately, like I said, like some of the parts that the symbiote takes his storyline are great. Like I said, I love the anger parts, like when he's showcasing how mad he can get at some of the people that have hurt him. But the freaking like whole like dancing scene in the club, just the freaking when he, especially when he walks out of freaking like not men's dress for less, but that kind of thing, and he's freaking just doing like a little dance with his arms, rolling the hands. And I'm just like, this doesn't feel like Peter Parker. Like this isn't Peter Parker. I don't care if the symbiote has entered him. It doesn't feel like him. So there's that. But towards at the end, you do get it resolved. The symbiote leaves his body. He finally realizes that, yeah, no, this isn't me. He reconciles with Mary Jane. He reconciles with Harry before he dies. So those parts are great. I love that stuff. It's just some of the stuff in between them. It's like, kind of got a love-hate relationship with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. The way that I view it is that this is Peter Parker dealing with something that he felt was resolved with, like he thought his Uncle Ben's killer was dead. Like that's what he thought, that's what he believed. So it's like he never really had to deal with his killer being on the loose. And so seeing that, he was already in a place of anger. And so the symbiote just kind of enhanced that anger, turned his anger into strength. And then him feeling like how good it is to kind of give into his anger, and then living his life based off of that, like giving into anger and rage. And then he sees what it turns it, like he has that moment where he hits Mary Jane, knocks her to the floor, and he, like, you see that like that was enough to knock him out of the fog and just be like, oh shit. And then going and like cleansing himself of like his rage and getting rid of all of that. And it's like he does everything that he sets out to. Like, it's interesting because it's like once he gets the symbiote, then it's he's running off of anger. And so like that's where he's hurt Mary Jane. He's gone and attacked Harry, and then he like has to once he like cleanses himself, he has to go back and deal with the consequences of his actions, even though it wasn't necessarily him. It's just still kind of taking that accountability.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So I thought that was that part was really well done. And then just seeing him like come back as that symbol of hope and justice when you get that epic scene where he jumps down in front of the American flag and like kind of has a little pose for a minute and then runs off and jump, like freaking sick.
Yeah. Iconic.
Straight up. So this is one I'm not the highest, but I'm decently high on. Like
Okay.
I'm probably sitting around in a solid 80. Like this is one that's like better than above average. It's still not the best in the world, but it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a point. Yeah. I got to match you cuz I don't think it deserves to belong in the 70s. It barely cracks the 80s, but it's no 70s when it comes to the character's development.
Yeah. All right, next up we got effects. Out of all of the movies, this is probably the one with the effects that don't hold up the greatest.
That is fair.
But they fit.
Yeah. Like I still feel for the most part, when Harry's flying on his glider, I still feel it looks pretty good. Don't really have any problems with him. Sandman, I still feel looks really good.
Dude, Sandman looks amazing.
Yeah. Like sorry.
No, I was just gonna say my favorite scene that they have is when they're in the armored truck and Spider-Man punches through him, and he just like that scene still looks freaking incredible. Like
Dude,
I know it's probably a really basic special effects shot, but it looks really good still.
It does, and especially the fact after he just literally freaking just grows his fists into like some bigger and just freaking just knocks him right out of the truck. Freaking love that shit.
Dude, Giant Sandman looks dope.
He does. How does so when it comes to like the final fight when he's Giant Sandman, do you still feel that holds up with how his face looks on? Because I do have some problems with that because
okay, that's
he looks
probably
a little
where
weird.
it's like, yeah, that's where Beverly gets a little bit dicey.
Yeah. But like you gotta like look at it, just like the fact that when it came to No Way Home, and even if it weren't for scheduling conflicts with Thomas Hayden Church, the fact that when it came to like everything Sandman, or at least like when we're actually showcased Flint Marko at the end, the fact that literally that scene is taken from Spider-Man 3 just shows how good the effects looked in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, damn, it's hard to be overcritical of his effects.
It is because like even to this day, like don't get me wrong, I love the swinging in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but there's just something about the swinging in Tobey Maguire's movies that just it's gonna sound weird, but like makes me feel at peace. Like just watching Tobey swing through the city as Spider-Man, it just brings me joy. Puts such a smile on my face.
Dude, you are not wrong. Like,
yeah, okay.
Swinging around with Andrew Garfield feels like a freaking like adrenaline rush. Where, like, and I'm remember like when he's swinging around at the beginning, like before he gets freaking like swooped by New Goblin. Like it is a very peaceful motion that they were able to create.
Yeah,
and then like. With Garfield, it is very much like a freaking adrenaline trip.
Which hey, it works for his iteration.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to think of like any horrible effects, but I can't think of anything that was just like not good. Like I think Sam Raimi does a good job at going as practical as he's capable of,
which I really appreciate.
I do too. like I thought Sandman, even though he was doing like weird stuff with his body, like morphing it into big items, and like I thought that looked really good. Oh, the freaking train fight between Dark Spidey and Sandman. Oh, that
Dude.
fight looked awesome.
Yeah.
It still looks good.
Agreed.
And it's freaking terrifying to this day. Like,
Yeah. It really is. It's so good.
that's probably my favorite sequence with him in the black suit.
That's fair. God, I don't even know what my favorite part with him in the black suit is. Honestly, it's probably gonna sound basic when he first like realizes it, like he like lands on the freaking side of the building, he like pulls off the mask and he's just like realizing the power that he has with his new suit. That basic, but that's probably my favorite.
Yeah. So I'll say favorite moment overall is when he ends up like being taken by the suit, and then he like wakes up and he's upside down, like staring at himself in the mirror or in the glass.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. Sorry, that yes,
Like,
yeah, freaking. Yeah, and like he's like, yeah, just like the way he's like clinging onto the freaking window of the building, and he's just like looking at his hand. Just oh my god, like literally nowadays when I see that now, I still get chills. I'm like, this is so freaking cool.
yeah. And then like I said, combat with Sandman in the sewers was the best, because
Yes,
like especially when Sandman's like trying to run away and like he keeps looking back, and then you see Spider-Man on the wall when the train's coming by, and then he like crawls away. Like that's classic Sam Raimi shit, and I loved it.
Yeah, so good.
And dude, like Sam Raimi knows how to build up like a horror sequence. And what that was just one big horror sequence with Spidey.
Yeah.
And like I freaking love that when he's like fighting Spider-Man and like Spidey's yelling like do you remember Ben Parker, the man you got shot down in cold blood? And then he's like what's it to you? And then he like goes and swings, the train comes by like ripping by, and he's just like everything. I'm like
So good.
I'm like, this is the shit. This is peak Spider-Man. And yeah, and just how freaking scary it was when he became, or when he like opened up the piping and flooded him out.
Yeah.
Like, and basically sees him melt away, and like just dude, his Tobey Maguire's evil voice is freaking awesome.
It is.
Like the way that he was just like, good riddance. I'm like, damn. Yeah. So so this is what I'm going to dock for in terms of the effects. I'm going to adjust for Giant Sandman.
Okay. Did we talk about Venom? I can't remember.
Despite how Venom looked, he looked like, and like in terms of like how he was designed, he looked really good.
He did, yeah. Like I know like a lot of people are used to like the big broody Venom, like we got in the 2 new movies. But yeah, like honestly, for the way that they made Venom look like it would be Topher Grace's Eddie Brock, yeah, I feel it worked really well and it looked really good.
This is why I appreciated them going a practical route, because that looked like a real mask.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. And like I'd be genuinely shocked if it wasn't, but it looked so good. The only time it looked fake is when he was talking to Flint.
Yeah. Agreed.
Other than that, it looked incredible. But most of the time it was him like screeching. So
yeah,
like you only needed the one pose.
That's true.
So this is one I'm fairly high on. Docking for Giant Sandman, I think I'm sitting around 92.
I think that unfortunately the Giant Sandman just kills it for me a little more. I'm sorry, so I'm gonna be sitting at a 90.
Fair enough. All right. Next up, we got music. Bro. Evil Spidey's theme song or score?
So good.
You can't beat
good.
that shit.
No, you cannot. Like
hot
honestly, when it
damn.
comes to like all three of these movies soundtracks, they're all fantastic. They're so good. Like, was it the same composer for all three?
Pretty sure it was Danny Elfman all 3 times.
That explains everything that I needed to know.
Yeah, like if I knew like a good way to freaking play the songs on here, I totally would. But just I love the and he does such a good job. Like Danny Elfman does a really solid job at freaking actually, let me, before I feel like I'm talking out my ass, let's finish the credits real quick. Christopher Young. Did Danny Elfman not work on this?
What?
Hold on. Oh, no. He was the composer. Like, he's credited as a composer. Okay. So, yeah. Danny Elfman had some say in this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What was I saying? I think he does a good job at designing one theme song, but being able to play it in multiple ways, where it has like a more like solemn dark tones, and then he has like the kind of the lighter tones, and like he's able to play around with the music a little bit.
So you want to hear? So interesting thing. I don't know if you saw this, but it says Danny Elfman, the composer for the previous installments, chose not to return for the third installment of Spider-Man because of difficulties with director Sam Raimi. Elfman said that he had a miserable experience working with Raimi on Spider-Man 2 and could not comfortably adapt his music. Christopher Young was then announced to score Spider-Man 3 in Elfman's absence. Instead, Elfman chose to work with the 2006 reboot of Charlotte's Web. A few years later, he reunited with Raimi to compose the score for Oz the Great and Powerful.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, interesting.
All right. Well, we're giving Christopher Young all the credit.
Christopher Young gets all the credit for this one. Yeah. Guy did a fantastic job. Levels of Elfman with this one.
Yeah, he was able to harness Elfman really freaking good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, major props. Unfortunately, the rest of the soundtrack, I wouldn't say is great.
That's fair. It's no freaking what's like the classic like Hero by Nickelback in the original. It's it's nothing like that.
No, not even close. So where are you sitting with music?
No, I'd probably say I'm an 8, honestly.
I can give you an 8. All right, next up we got costumes, which I actually have references for.
Hell yeah.
All right, so first up, we got to talk about classic Spidey.
Just as good as the first two, if not better. It looks so good.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the only reason I would say, and this isn't even like necessarily because the suit itself is better, I think it was just seeing Dark Spidey for a majority of the movie, and then seeing him come back in the old red and blues, like right in front of a flag. There was just something just like made you feel patriotic about it.
Right? Yeah. It reminds you of the freaking please tell me you've seen that IHOP commercial when the guy comes into the diner. He's just like, red, white, and blue pancakes. I wonder what those taste like. Old man, like the most straight face I've ever seen, just looks over to him. He's just like, America.
Yeah, like you can't freaking beat this suit, dude.
You can't. Like there's a reason why when they put this in the PS4 Spider-Man game that almost probably everyone was playing with this costume.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was everyone's go-to. Like, come on.
I know it was my go-to. Dude, I even tried switching around like to different suits. I'm like, nah, I want to see this as freaking Raimi Spidey.
It's perfection. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is still like don't get me wrong, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is it's comic accurate. It's great. But when it comes to me, just my favorite Spider-Man suit I've ever seen in live action, just how much not only it means to me, but just how much I love watching it in action on screen, I always have to give it to Tobey Maguire's. It's just so damn good.
Dude, this is baseline like Spidey to me. Like if
right,
this is the starting block.
Yes. Oh, absolutely agree.
But I mean, his suit is so freaking iconic. There's there's no way you can't look at, like, when I think Spider-Man, there's always like a two images that come into mind first. Like my top two. My number one is this suit. My number two is, do you know that, like, the image of Spider-Man that used to come on like all the balloons, all of like the coloring books, like just that like super generic looking Spider-Man?
Yep.
That's the second picture that comes into my brain when I think Spider-Man.
Dude, I love that. That's freaking awesome. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, so that's my number one. Or my number 1 and 2. So yeah, this is like iconic. Like you can't freaking beat this shit. But they got real freaking close with Black Suit Spider-Man.
Dude, freaking whenever the symbiote suit is brought up from any property of Spider-Man, this will always be my favorite adaptation of it. I wish so much that they put this in the PS4 Spider-Man, and I pray, even though I don't have a PS5, I'm sure I do want to get one eventually. I hope that since the symbiote suit is going to be in Spider-Man 2, that this is a DLC suit, because oh my god, I want to play in this suit so freaking bad. Because
that's a DLC I would purchase. And
right?
I already know. So December 21st is, or not December, October 21st is when this game comes out, or it's like the 21st or 22nd. I already have Monday and Tuesday set aside to go over to the Maybe's house and play it with Jackson.
Dude, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and if the freaking black symbiote suit from Raimi is like a DLC, I will happily purchase that shit. I like not even owning the freaking console. Like I will freaking buy that shit, because that is the only symbiote suit that I'd want to play as.
Right. Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah, like I don't got any problems with this one, just like I don't with the original. It's just so freaking perfect.
Yeah. Like this is perfection. Even though like the concept art for, or like actually they built a suit, like a concept suit where it is like the classic like symbiote outfit, like from comics and everything. Like they had a practical suit built for it that they never did anything with, so they just went with this.
I'm glad they didn't, and I'm really glad that they went with this, because
yeah, the other one looked weird. Like, so just to explain what the other one looked like, it had the same eyes, but instead of it being like the lens with like the outline, it was like all just one big white lens, and then the suit kind of had a more like a glossy look about it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna see if I can freaking find a picture of it.
I don't know if I love what you're saying.
All right, let's see if I can pull this shit up.
Yeah, I am really glad that they did not go with that.
Yeah, so it did have like the normal lenses.
Yeah,
but it like they were playing around with the Spider-Man suit, but yeah, it had a more like glossy feel about it, and I think it would have worked Honestly, what I wish they would have done is something like how they did in Spectacular Spider-Man. Have you ever watched Spectacular Spider-Man?
I've not.
Okay, so in that show, when Peter Parker originally gets the symbiote suit, it is just a black version of his suit, and it like slowly begins to morph into like a bigger spider.
Oh, okay.
And like each episode that he has the suit in, like yeah, it looks like it's growing like on him, so it's like just like the white spider is just kind of extending, and then it eventually becomes what the classic black suit from the comics looks like. And I think that would have actually worked really well with something like this, but for what we got, I freaking love it. So no freaking complaints. Love the suit. The next outfit that I wanted to talk about, or costume, is obviously freaking Flint Marko Sandman. Straight out of the freaking comics. Like, you can't get more perfect than this.
Yeah. T-shirt, pants, perfection.
Yeah. I remember someone freaking making the comment that he looks like Steve from Blue's Clues. And I'm just like, forget you.
Well, can't unsee that now.
Yeah, but yeah, Sandman looks freaking sick. Like, yeah, no complaints with how Sandman looks. Even like him all like souped up, like he looks really good.
He does.
So yeah, no freaking complaints there. Like, iconic outfit, like freaking 10 out of 10. It's basic, but I mean, who's gonna bitch and complain about that?
Exactly.
All right, next one is Venom.
Minus the whole like pulling the mask back, I really liked how Venom looked. Like, I thought he looked really, really cool.
I think he looked cool too. I think the biggest thing he's missing is maybe the tongue. The tongue. I know that like he had a tongue inside his mouth, but it needs to be out.
That's fair.
More prominent.
Yeah, because Venom is definitely known for that.
Yeah, but I mean the eye shape, the ununiform webbing, like all that looked really freaking good. And then Topher Grace, like, yeah, maybe not the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, other than that, like, no complaints when it comes to Venom.
Agree.
Other than like, biggest one is just that it needs some tongue.
Yeah.
All right, then the last one I'm going to want to talk about is the New Goblin. Dude, this suit was sick.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Like, I don't remember like having any issues with this suit growing up. I thought it was freaking cool. Like, I'm like, freaking snowboarder as the glider, like, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like, he's freaking got like a ninja assassin vibe. Like, this was working for me.
Same here.
Yeah, so freaking no complaints here. I think this was a really freaking bitchin' suit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, so where are you sitting with costumes?
Honestly, just because like this problems that we have with Venom, like I agree with the tongue, the like whole pulling back just so he can talk. That just, it didn't always look great. So like for that, like if it weren't for that, I'd honestly be at a 10. But because of that, I'd personally be at a 9. But I can definitely do an 8 if you're feeling that.
I am at a 9.
Okay,
and that is
awesome.
strictly same as you, strictly because of Venom. All right, last we got our own personal scores. You want to take this one first?
I would love to. So like we pointed out, this movie gets way too much hate. It's not as bad as everyone says that it is. Yes, it does have some problems. But I blame that all on like studio interference. Like what Sam Raimi actually did himself, he did a really good job. I feel it's a really good conclusion to the Spider-Man trilogy. It's not the greatest we could have gotten. It could have been better. I definitely agree with that. But for what we got, I'm pleased. I'm for the most part happy with it. The performances are great. The action's great. The freaking costumes especially are great. Like, oh my God, can't say enough good about those costumes. So overall, I think I'm gonna go an 84.
Funny enough, I am like barely below you. I'm
Really?
sitting at
Okay.
an 83.
Okay.
I was wondering how close we were going to be. I freaking love when that happens.
Yeah, me too.
I have a real soft spot in my heart for this movie. It's not as bad as everyone like claims it to be. It still has its like redeeming qualities about it. And in the end, it's still a Spider-Man movie. So like it's not the best, but it's also not the worst by a freaking mile. And even if it was, like, just for shits and giggles, even if it was the worst, it's the worst of Spider-Man movies, which all Spider-Man movies are freaking sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'll even say Amazing Spider-Man is like, I say that like it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, like even if you don't love it, there is a lot to love in it.
Yeah. So I have a soft spot in my heart for this movie. This is one I will absolutely watch on my rotation. Like, I actually might watch 3 more than I do 1. And the only reason is because
That's
I have a
fair.
thing against origin movies, watching origin movies more than once.
That's fair. I mean, 2 is always my go-to. That will always be my go-to. But
I freaking love 2.
I mean, huge part in the fact that Doc Ock has always been my favorite Spider-Man villain. So I'm a little biased.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I freaking love this movie. So with that concludes this week's breakdown. I did not do a good job at lining this up, or like I stopped with music. All right. Anyway, so going through these scores real quick, starting off with story, we ended up sitting at an 87. It was a unanimous decision to be at a 75 when it came to writing. So that was like the biggest hit on this movie. Acting came back up a little bit, sitting at an 85. The character development wasn't the best in the world, so we ended up giving that an 80. The effects were rock solid, so we ended up giving that one an 80 or 91. Music ended up sitting at an 8 out of 10, and that's just because an amazing score. The rest of the soundtrack was a little meh, but I think the score was able to save this movie. Next up, costumes. We ended up giving this a 9 out of 10. And then our personal score averaged out to an 83.5. So with that, the final All Bros letter grade for Spider-Man 3 has come out to a...
Drum noise.
It came out to a B.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
I am absolutely okay with that. I think it has a pretty decent home.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just excited to see what it ranked above and what below.
Honestly, just like first looks, not hating it.
Okay.
All right. So Spider-Man 3 is currently sitting at an 84.56%. That puts it on the exact same level as Christopher Robin.
Interesting.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm in total agreement with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so this puts it below The Matrix Resurrections. Puts it below Megan. Seems like you were...
I disagree with that one. You said it's below Megan?
Below Megan.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to disagree with that one. But that's me.
If it helps, it's like barely.
All right. That cushions the blow.
Yeah, like... Here, let me pull out my calculator. I'll do the math. All All right, so Megan is at an 84.81, which puts 84.56. So it's 0.25%.
Okay, all right. That does
So
make
not
me
even
feel
a full
better.
percentage. It's a freaking 1/4%.
All right, that makes me feel better.
All right, it's below the Little Mermaid 2023.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
It's below Hocus Pocus, which is at an 85.
Okay, I can agree with that. As long as it's not below Hocus Pocus 2.
I don't remember where Hocus Pocus 2 ended up.
Yeah, really
But so
quickly,
far
can we
it's not
talk
on here.
about... it's very weird that they released Hocus Pocus 2 last year when this year's the 30th anniversary of Hocus Pocus. Like, why would you not release it the 30th anniversary?
Because they're dumb.
Hey, you know what? You're not wrong.
All right, let's see. It's below Holes, which is at an 85.25.
Yeah, fair.
And then this one I think you might have an issue with. It's below The Flash, which is at an 85.31.
I'm honest. Wait, it's below The Flash? Is that what you said?
Below The Flash.
I'm okay with that.
Are you? Because I am too.
I really I know everyone hates that. So many people hate on that movie, but I really enjoyed The Flash. It was exactly what I wanted it to be.
People are hating on it for no reason.
They have their reasonings.
I know, other than the special effects, the movie itself isn't the
special effects and certain people that are in the movie.
Dude, you can't.
But just look past that. Just look at it as a freaking movie. And just,
shitty people are in movies too.
yeah. You'll see a pretty actually solid superhero film.
Yeah, but I feel like we're one of the few reviewers or critics that can separate the art from the artist.
Exactly. Yep. Agreed.
So that's where it's sitting. What's below?
All right.
What it's sitting above, I actually really agree with.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's above Prey, which is at an 84.43.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
It's above Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, sorry, I don't agree with that.
What?
I feel I'm one of the few people that will defend Age of Ultron, and I'm sorry, I like Avengers: Age of Ultron more than Spider-Man 3.
All right. Let's see. It's above Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right. It's above Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then it is above Free Guy.
Okay. Yeah, I do like Spider-Man 3 more than Free Guy. I will say though, don't get me wrong, I agree with it being above Solo, but Solo is another movie that I feel gets way too much hate. It's actually a pretty decent Star Wars movie if you give it a chance. Dude,
the freaking margins for this though are so ridiculously close.
That's funny.
Just in terms of with Spider-Man 3, you have to go. What is that? 84.56. Yeah, you have to go 12 movies up to get 1% away.
Damn, bro, that's insane.
Yeah, so that's going from technically 13 if you. I don't count 13 because Christopher Robin and Spider-Man 3 are on the same level, but it's just alphabetized.
Yeah.
So either of these, it's a 12%. Or it's 12 movie difference between 84.56 and 85.56. And the 85.56 is Cruella.
Okay. Wow.
And then going the opposite direction, so going down to an 83.5, we're at Lady and the Tramp 2019.
Okay.
And technically that's a little bit over 1%. So if we went under with no hard feel, that'd be No Hard Feelings. That's the full percentage.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, I'm not hating where this is at.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I think overall a B is a very solid score for this.
Agreed.
But yeah, so that wraps up this week's episode. If you like this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. Which, have you been keeping up with that?
Not greatly, but I promise I have been posting.
You son of a bitch.
I know, I suck.
Yeah. So we're available on all those social media platforms. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, like all the big podcast listening platforms we're on. So be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you're listening, and wherever you're on social media. You can find us at the All Bros. Be sure to check out our website too, tinyurl.com/the All Bros, where you can find links to everything that we do. If you feel like hitting us up, if you want to suggest an episode, want to be on an episode, anything along those lines, be sure to hit us up, the All Bros channel at gmail.com. And yeah, so next week, you guys can look forward to us breaking down Saw X. And
It's
I cannot
be a bloody good time.
I cannot explain how excited I am to see this.
I never thought I'd hear Caleb say that.
Dude, I'm pumped.
He's excited for a Saw movie. I never thought I'd hear that from Caleb.
There's a difference between okay, just letting you in on like our planning lives. Rose was like, "Hey, what about The Exorcist?" And I told him, "How about you go kick turds?" There is a major difference between a freaking Saw slasher film and demon exorcist shit. There is a huge difference. So man. Yeah, Rose can go jump in a creek.
I'm on my way now.
Yeah, we'll be breaking down Saw X next week,
and then The Exorcist the following week. Yep.
Nope. It's actually almost embarrassing what we'll be doing the next week. But to find out what that is, be sure to tune in next week.
Yes.
So until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.
Sounded like you were straining a little bit there.
I don't even know what voice I was going for.